So I changed my plans. I was going to put it together and decal it, but I decided just to decal it so I can weather it, and then I'm going to glue it together, and then I'll clean up where I glue. I still think that's easier, hopefully. The decals are, how to explain, they're fragile, so I always use like lukewarm water for decals. Couple of them when I use the Tamiya decal tweezers. Couple of them when I grab them, they ripped, tore. So, and it's the same process I do for all decals. So, but they appear thick enough because you can't see. I didn't put, so that white is decal. You can't see the orange through it. So they're thick enough, because this is something I always forget too. When you do high vis orange, usually your decals, the orange shows through the white. It might, I don't know. That one looks good. When I look at the round one, it looks like I can see a bit of orange, but I don't know if that's just because I'm looking at the orange around it. And of course, this doesn't matter, I don't think, whose brand of decal you're using. All this raised rivet detail makes it extremely hard to get a decal to conform, because the rivets are, to be honest, I don't think they'd be in scale. They stick out a fair bit. And this is the thing, if people want accuracy and they want the raised rivets, well, it comes at a cost. Cleaning up seam joins and decals creates issues. But anyway, I got them down. But it took a few coats of microsol. I didn't try anything more aggressive. I just kept using the microsol. So because it's raised rivets, when you put a decal down, you got to get that water and air out from underneath. When I push down, like this one on the tail, the rivets break through the decal because the rivets are raised. It's just, I don't know, to me, I don't think whose brand you use would matter. It'd probably happen because of the raised decals. So, yeah. Anyway, there's not a lot to it on this one, at least, and it was easier than doing the Starfighter. And they were caracal decals, so, but I always have issues with decals, so that's just my experience with this one. At the end of the day, I'll tell you, I've had worse, but they're not the best. So, but I think it's the raised details that cause issues. But anyway, so that's the decals have dried overnight. So now it gets a clear coat again, and then I'll do my wash and that. I think, again, it's easier apart. I say that now, but when I come putting together, we'll see what happens. So I'm just using my usual method with the Flurry Model Dark Dirt Wash. So I'll do that. Then I'll glue it together. Then I'll clean up the joins. So I'll be touching up paint. So I left 2 decals off. There's a couple that go up right up next to that where the clear part sits, and so if I have to clean that up, I put them on later, just in case. I would have no doubt damaged them if I had to clean up and paint. Yeah, so I know I've used them. I did it. I can't remember. I don't know if I did the build on here or not. I did the. Okay, now one of the British medium bombers, is it the Beaufort or something? I can't remember how the decals went on that. But anyway, all I can say is, yeah, just be careful as you can with them. but you know, like I said, when you got big raised rivets, it's not going to make it easy no matter what brand you're using. Alright, wash is done and wiped back. I also airbrushed some exhaust stain along behind the exhaust, obviously. Not heavy. The images I saw, wasn't much going on. While I was, so you can see the wash just makes it, all that recessed detail pop, so it's looking the goods now. While I was wiping the wash back, I bumped off my light that I had there masked up, and I can't find it. Let's say the carpet monster took it, but the tile monster took it. Even on tiles I can't bloody see stuff. Anyway, to replace it, what I did was this is a big bottle because I've got a 3D printer, but you can get clear resin. You don't have to have a 3D printer to use it. If you put it in, you can make lights. I just used a toothpick, put it in there. Oh, and then you got a UV torch, so it's got the blue light, and you just shine on it. It only takes seconds and it dries hard. So I've replaced that. You can use it, that sort of thing too, if you just wanted to do it on a piece of not paper, but like shiny glossy paper or something. You could lift it off, you can make lights with it. So that replace that. It looks nice and clear. I did manage somewhere along the way, I've knocked off one of the little, I don't know if it's a static discharge or actuator. I don't recall when I lost it. I was just working on it and saw it was gone. So, oh, there it is, right there. Look at that. Or is that another one? Oh, that's it. Amazing. I'm going to set that in a bottle cap and glue that on later. That's amazing. I was about to say I'll have to make something up, but problem solved. Right, so now I'm going to finally get around to gluing all this on. I'm not looking forward to it. I could just see things going wrong, but anyway. And then once that is done and cleaned up, then it's time to start. I still have to paint the seats up. I've primed them, but I've got to paint them. I've started painting, so the propeller, it's pretty boring. It's just the same green as on the aircraft, but I've got to paint in the white and red tips on them. And finish painting, well, I've painted the weapon rocket pods need decals, and drop tank and the pylon, so they're all white, same as the aircraft. But I've got to put decals on them and give them a wash. And then still I've got to do the guns. I sort of start doing all that little stuff once it's together. I'm not continually handling it. And then the last I'll do the clear parts, because that I think is going to be a lot of fun too. Alright, tail booms are on and the rear stabilizer. They went on well. I just made sure I lined it up as I glued it around, and then I cleaned up that where I glued and then touched it in. So I just primed it black again and sprayed in the green. These glued on, I just had to touch up one side with the orange because the glue stained it. Otherwise all good, fit well, no problems. Seats are painted up and in. Windscreen is glued in. So I need to paint, well, I have painted the inside of the top piece. Flip it over, paint the outside, and then I'll start manoeuvring all that. I'll probably sit it again, do a dry fit with the, so I'm gonna, all the images, well, there's not as many as you think really, maybe I wasn't looking hard enough. All the images I found anyway was this window was open normally and the other side's closed, so I'm just going to do it that way. I'll have to make something though, because the strut, gas strut or whatever it is that holds the window open, there's nothing in the kit for that, because they don't, their only option is to have it closed in the instructions. So I'll have to make something up for that, just to suggest that the part is there. I glued in my levers again. I've got to glue a couple in the front there before I put the top and the side on. Well, actually the side windows, so I don't know yet. I've got to work this out. All these things go on the windows. Maybe they look painful, so I'll see. And then of course I've got to do the wheels, cut them off, clean them up, paint them. They're weighted on wheels, so I'll have to line all that up as well. And I've got to make a bit more of the front landing gear, a couple of pieces to attach to that wheel. Then the weapons, I can't for the life of me work out there. They got decals on the rocket pods. I can't, they're not even on there. The numbers, just, I don't know, they're just not there. I don't understand. I'm losing my mind. I think, is there another sheet somewhere? But I don't think so. Anyway, so the rocket pods won't have anything on them. I'll just weather them and glue them on. And I've painted the white tips on the props. I just got to paint in the red strip. So getting there. Alright, I've got the top and side in. It ain't easy. No siree. Oh, I glued the side one in first, because so that rear part of seat has to sit in that recess, and this side is alright, but that side was a bit out, so I had to bend that bracket back, the internal bracket on the back of the seat, so it lined up with the window. And then it was also too wide out, so I had to scrape it to narrow it, because the window didn't want to sit in, it wanted to bulge out the middle there, so it was, you could get it one way or the other. So I had to scrape that to get it level, so I could sit the window level. I glued crystal clear on the ends, pushed it in. I had to keep manipulating it because I wanted to sit, still wanted to pop out that end there, wanted to sit up and leave a gap. Oh man, I used crystal clear, but I had to use this as well because it didn't want to bite, so I used the Tammy extra thin there, and then I put the top on to line the back up, and the front, it ended up, it had a gap. Every time I've dry fitted this, there's a different fit. There's a gap there, so I've filled that with crystal clear. When it dries, I'll have to Tamiya tape it and spray it in. I had to, this bit here, I used Tamiya extra thin to get it to bite in because I wanted to sit up, and I'm still left with a gap back here, maybe a little bit that side, so I'm going to have to bit of putty there, and then again mask it off and spray it in. Just so awkward. Yeah, so thankfully, well, not really, because it'll be painful too, this one will be glued open, but that's not there yet. I've put in the resin guns, so I just painted them black, glued them in, and then I've come over them with a where is it? Just with like one of these little micro makeup brush things with some pigment, gunmetal pigment, and just rubbed it over them. So they're in. I just need to be careful not to bump them because they're resin and they will break easy. So I finished, where are we? I've painted, it's got wash on it. I was waiting for it to dry and right back. The props are done, painted. Wheels are in the process of painting. I've still got to make up the front part of the leg. And a couple of door covers and that still. So I go back through instructions and see what I've still yet to do. Alright, the wheels are done. The problem here is the resin wheels have just got a small round hole. The gear legs are like keyed and they're a lot wider. So I had to drill out the resin wheels, and then because it's weight on wheels, this one I kept, it fit inside the bracket for the nose gear so I could move it. I estimated where they needed to sit and I sat it on a piece of flat ply and lined them up and did one at a time. It's not, because you have to drill holes and that's not ideal, but that's sometimes how it works with resin wheels. I'm not a fan of these gear legs because they're very, you can see that, very flimsy. Hopefully it withstands the weight over time. And unfortunately, all that weight I put in there, it was still a tail sitter. So I had to do what I didn't want to do, and I stuck some more lead up in the nose and just sprayed white over it. So you need at least 20 grams of weight, probably more. I'd probably say 25 or so to make it not a tail sitter. So, well, it worked before, will work now. Amazing. So yeah, definitely a tail sitter, big time. So that's done, and I put on the little doors, or the remaining parts of the gear doors. What's left? Obviously that window, I still got to put the pitot, my brass pitot, so I got to drill a hole for that. Oh yeah, I still haven't cleaned up that canopy area yet. I'll probably do that shortly. And I have to put, so this aircraft, these bits on the top of the booms have antenna. You don't get them in the kit, so I'll stretch some sprue, cut it and glue them on. So that's easy enough. So this probably be the last update, and then we'll come back, because there's not much more to go, and come back and look at the final model finished. Alright, she is all done. Gets very hard to handle towards the end when you start putting all the bits on. You gotta be careful where you pick it up and how you handle it. Oh, the open window is not easy, I can tell you that. Be a lot easier just to have the whole thing closed up, but then it comes back to the fit, whether it fits well or not. Like I had those troubles on the other side, so I've just cut a piece of sprue, or two actually. One on the, you'll see on the towards the front of the windscreen is a piece of stretch sprue to help support it, which is sort of representing the actual thing has a strut that opens and closes, and there's actually two in the center. I just put the one, it's just too fiddly. 1/32 scale might be easier. And like I mentioned, that's not in the kit, you have to make it up yourself, because they just have it closed up. And I use the stretch sprue for those antenna on the tail booms, an easy line for the other antenna wire that runs from the stabilizer to the rear of the fuselage. I'm happy I chose that scheme. It's a real eye catcher. It's like the high vis orange pops, makes it stand out in the crowd. My thoughts on the kit are, it's pretty well engineered, and they've tried to engineer it how the tail booms go together, like top, bottom and sides, trying to avoid the cleanup. But I felt, especially on the bottom, I don't think that's a natural panel line, so I cleaned it up, but maybe it is, I don't know. But up to the builder, I guess, whether they want to clean it up or not. It didn't look right to me, so I cleaned it up, which created more work. It's definitely a tail sitter, like I mentioned. At least I'd check it like I did. Even I fell short. So I reckon about 25 grams, but don't just put 25 grams and leave it. I'd be checking it, because I got caught out. The resin wheels are different, especially a good upgrade, because the kit ones are pretty, well, not pretty, they're very bland. The resin seats, they are an upgrade, but the kit ones aren't that bad. You just need to put in harnesses if you use the kit ones. And the instrument panels are definitely an upgrade, but the decals are okay as well. Just that it's got so much glass in it, you can see in there everything, so it's probably an area you might want to upgrade it. Pitot, the kit one's alright, but, well, actually I managed to get through it. I actually cut the kit one off, but usually, because it's moulded into one of the fuselage halves, that's usually something they'll bump off, but I actually didn't. I actually just cut it off when I was getting ready to clean up the seam joins. But brass ones are always better anyway, or stainless or aluminium, whatever brand you get. The decals, as I mentioned, are a bit delicate, but they do work. And like I've said, it doesn't matter the brand for me. I seem to have trouble with decals all the time, except for Trumpeter and Hobby Boss. It's very different looking aircraft. It's something different looking model, but that comes at a cost of difficulty of building it. But it's I'm glad I built it. It's I really like the end result. So I'm going to add some still photos now. Hopefully, if you're building it, you know what to look out for, and especially that nose weight. Thank you for watching.